very special episode of The Tangent Lounge. I'm Gary.
I'm Dory. Just Dory.
And tonight we are being joined, theoretically, here any
in theory,
second now, by New York comic Kevin Gootee.
Gootee. Just like the beard.
Okay, then.
I checked that.
Oh, well,
I did my fucking research.
You did. So we're waiting for the phone to ring here. We're doing this super ghetto because this is the Tangent Lounge, and
I'm gonna check the old Twitter to see if he's
okay. Yeah, anything could happen.
Trying to get a hold of me.
A lot of your more upscale podcasts would figure out a way to, I don't know, make Skype work or being able to import
make whoopee with the Audacity
files. Yes, you're back in 2 and 2. As Chuck Woolery would have said. So we're going to do this in a way that... so Kevin is in New York City. That's the Big Apple to those of you who live in Chicago.
What the fuck?
And
what does that even mean?
I don't know. There's only 2 big cities. So he's a working comic and is graciously, well, assuming he calls, graciously taking time out of his Friday night... making to give us a call here on the lounge and discuss his show on Amazon. Creator and content.
Yeah, writer, creator, mediator, beer drinker.
Yeah, like this dude's the real deal.
Yeah,
and
flip-flop wearer. I saw that happen.
Theoretically going to have him here, but in the meantime, we're here in the lounge having a couple of White Russians and some really bad shit out of the oven that I actually salvaged from our adventure the other morning. So I'm not sure if I've mentioned to the viewers or listeners, you are the ones with the ears.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, here we are. This might be Kevin.
Yes, I think it is.
Speaker time.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin, what's going on? How are you?
Hey, what's happening? We're going to... Actually, are we on right now?
We are.
We're bullshitting. Making some shit up as we went along. So, since we're extremely low rent, we're going to put my cell phone in a tiny cell phone container cat thing holder, majigger, and hoping that, I might just hold it up to this because it's not, I'm just going to hold you up to my mic, my friend, because we're incredibly low rent. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Outstanding.
Please. Thank you. I might have fucked up because I have my cell phone on an iPhone update, and I hope it doesn't download. If I click download, I hope there's an update in the middle of our discussion, so let's cross our fingers there.
Okay. Well, like I said, we have like a listener, right? So, however we fuck up, it's good. He's going to love it. First of all, we're excited as fuck because, like I said, we're very low rent, and, nobody knows us from Adam, and then we were so excited to get a message from you to pimp your show.
Well, thanks for having me.
Speaking of which, this is Kevin Gootee, ladies and gentlemen, comedian extraordinaire who has a show on the Amazons called Comics Watching Comics. It's in its 4th season, and it is about to start its 5th season. And Kevin, can you just give us kind of a rundown of what that show is, if you would, please?
You bet your ass I can.
Oh, you haven't seen the size of my ass, Kevin. Come on.
What did you say?
You haven't seen the size of my ass? That's a big bet, my friend.
Oh, okay, all right. It is a show. Think Last Comic Standing and Mystery Science Theater 3000. That's what we're looking at here, kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a show where I look, intermediate comics not really getting their fair share of exposure, and that's what I'm really trying to do is really increase exposure for them. Me being an intermediate comic, here I am in New York City, and trying to see if there's a way we can get more exposure to comics who are trying to break through. And I being in this town, there are a zillion comics, but not enough spots. So that's what the show came about. And I think it's great because what it does is going to show the general public on how comics look and view comedy, kind of like doing like what Madden did with the X's and O's and such,
right?
In football, and it's also a way for, like I said, for exposure to happen with comedians and such. So that's what the show is. So what I did was I taped 50 intermediate comics, and I take that footage, and then I go to my house and I invite panelists who are more experienced, and we sit down, we watch, we critique, we praise, we offer advice, and if they're awful, then we shit on them. Not the main part of the show. But, yeah, so that's the show. And then after every season, the panel votes on a winner, and we have our master panelist, Jeffrey Gurian, give a thumbs up or a thumbs down of our choice.
Oh, yes.
And the home audience plays along, too. They get to vote on their favorite comic that they want to see come back to a following season. And they do that. They vote on Twitter at Comics Watching, and that's how they do that. So that is the show in a 30-second to 1 minute time frame. Boom. I'm getting good at this.
Lovely. That is excellent. This is really, if you see this picture of me hovering over a microphone with a phone in one hand and me sort of almost, filleting the microphone, it's a very attractive look. So.
Well, someone get a picture of it immediately and post
So I want to know the actual, the dirt behind starting this, because I know, for example, Gary and I started a podcast probably because we were drunk one day, and we were on the couch, and we could afford we could afford mics. Oh, that was the only reason. But we wanted to just talk and make people happy, and try to avoid politics and religion at all costs. So when was the time where you and your friends went, I know, we're gonna do blank? What was the true impetus for that?
Oh, there's no weird. This is all me.
Oh, okay.
The show came about because one day I was at an open mic, and I was with a friend, and the open mic we were at, it was just filled with everyone was just eating it and just awful. And we started texting each other. We were just working on the comments on stage, just going back and forth with the text. This is funny. This should be a show, but you just can't have a show strictly. Comics just shitting on their comics.
Right.
And second of all, it would be not well received and just not well done. So I said, let's try this. Let's have a show where, we make Last Comic Standing better. Because I thought Last Comic Standing was pretty fucking boring. I thought it was just very generic, it's too friendly, I think.
Well, yeah.
Too kind.
Yeah.
Except for Norm Macdonald, he never really gave anyone the business. You're so great. That was awesome. That's great. Very little constructive criticism. It was this new stuff, especially the comics. So that's why I got the idea to really try and make it a little bit better.
Well, I like the way that you guys, you'll start off, you get your riffs in, because you got to get that out of the way, right? And then when it comes down to it, you guys have actual constructive criticism. Stuff that actually does work. I like the fact that you brought in kind of a seasoned comedian for the fourth installment. What was the drive behind that?
I wanted to have a twist behind it. I wanted to have something a little bit different where we have Jeffrey in there, and he brings a little bit of name recognition if you're in comedy.
Yeah.
Jeffrey's written for guys like Dyke, Rodney Dangerfield, Ray Romano, Joan Rivers he's written for, so the guy's been around. So just to have someone with his experience and tenure and credibility, I think, really takes the show to that next level.
I like it. I like it a lot. Not that you guys don't have credibility, because you do. But for the person who's an average viewer, they're going to go, I don't know these guys. But you bring someone on who go, oh, I've seen that dude on blank. And they're probably going to be you're going to expand your audience, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I mean, and of course the goal is to try to keep building this thing up is get more, really big names on the panel. I think that's what we're trying to do, and I think we're going to get that in the upcoming seasons. That's for sure.
Yes, I'm trying to do some Marcel Marceau work with Gary, trying to spell out the phrase, do you have any questions? And he's not reading me. So let me just turn this over. Hang on. Hold this. There you go.
Hey, Kevin, this is Gary.
You do it now.
We're a team here.
You filleted it now.
I've listened to a lot of Keith and the Girl, actually, from years past, and kind of gotten to know a number of the comics in New York that way. And it seems like, well, actually, in fact, your very first guest, Chanel Ali, was one that I had heard on Keith and the Girl. You yourself have been on their show, haven't you?
I have not, actually.
Oh, okay. But it struck me.
I tell you what, call Keith and the Girl and tell them to book me for Christ.
Exactly. What the fuck, man? It struck me the style of your show is a little podcast like, in that it has, you're getting together with your friends and you're doing an activity, but at the same time keeping it loose and being able to have some banter and have a good time with it. It looks like you guys do have a good time. I mean, it's a pretty fair assessment, right?
It's a fucking blast. It really is. And especially when you see season 5. I'm going to sound a little biased, but season 5 was one of my favorites easily, and you'll see when it comes out, which should be hopefully another week or so when Amazon stops fucking with us. And it's a high broadcasting standard, and in the thumbnails that we have for each episode, we have one thumbnail for a comic in each episode. But apparently this season they weren't up to Amazon's standards, so we keep setting it back and having to do it over and do it over and do it over. So that's what's been the delay with season 5. But when it goes up, which again should be very soon, we're really looking forward to showing you guys how much fun we had. And you're gonna see it, and it's an absolute fucking riot. You'll see.
Nice.
So, Kevin, do I have to give up my subscription to Amazon in protest until they fucking figure it out, or what do you want us to do, man? We're with you. We're for you.
Hey, listen, I tell you what, and I love your undying loyalty. I'm a Scorpio. I'm a German. Nothing makes me happier than people who are willing to fly into the wall for their leader. There is no need. There's no need for that. Stay tuned, though. If I need to send the Army in to go do so, you people will be getting a call from me immediately.
Outstanding.
Hell, as we say.
Yeah, I'm a natural blonde,
yeah.
so this should fit in. So I want to ask you about the whole, the final comedian that is chosen to appear at a comedy club.
Yes.
Right? Has that happened already? Because I've only been able to see a large chunk of the first.
Yes, it has.
Okay.
It happened in November was our live show at Gootee Comedy Club, and you will also see that on Amazon. It will be airing. Oh God, after season 6 goes up. So you will see the live show. You're going to see the winners of previous seasons. You're going to see some of the panelists. You'll see Jeffrey Gurgen's there. You'll see the master panelists. You're also going to see what I had called the redemption section. What that is for the people who really ate their balls. I mean, really. I give them a chance. I gave 4 guys a chance to redeem themselves. They each got 1 minute. And the audience, after everyone went up, voted via applause, and they picked one comic to go up and have a full set that night at Gotham.
Oh, wow.
That, like I said, at the live show.
Nice.
That's nice. That's nice. So are you married or... Okay, that's too presumptuous. Sorry, I'm backing off now.
When you were first coming up with a show concept, did you have to shop it around, or how did you get in touch with Amazon to make all that happen?
I have an inside track with someone who has the Amazon. That's how I got it. Don't get me wrong. Amazon's cool. The goal for finale is to get it on a network or cable channel, because that's where the money still really is. Amazon really legitimizes it, which I'm very, very happy about.
Absolutely.
But again, like I said, the goal is to get it on a network or a TV channel where I can really make some nice money and quit corporate America.
Nice. So when you say corporate America, what do you do other than comedize? Not a word, but trying.
I sell my already blackened soul to the devil to pay for comics, watching comics, and the daily bills that come on my life.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in diagnostic sales. That's what I do.
Oh, okay.
Are you getting up on stage tonight? Are we killing your set by having you here on a Friday night at 9 o'clock?
No. I'm not on tonight. You guys are the only thing I had on my docket. Tomorrow I'm out and about on one of my on season 6's performer, Avery Castillo. I'm doing her show.
Oh, cool.
My calendar has been so crazy this month with podcast appearances. The podcast appearances, I literally have 20, 25 podcasts I'm appearing on. It dwarfs the number of shows I have. So
that is awesome, though. I mean, you don't even know how much I saw that invite, and I peed a little, and then I contacted Gary.
Well, you were doing that anyway.
I was doing it anyway. I'm old, fuck it. But I was just so goddamn happy. I was really stoked because...
And honestly, so you guys knew of the show before I even reached out to you.
I love comedians. I love stand-up. I've never done it. I've always wanted to do it. I'm fascinated by it. I've followed stand-up since I was a little one, a wee lass. And to have a comedian go, can I come on your show? I was like, fuck yes! It just really made me very, very happy.
No, I didn't say it quite like that.
Give the man his dignity, for fuck's sake.
Sorry, that was me being silly. But I was very, very pleased. It made us very happy, and we want to support you in any way, especially now that I've seen the show. I like the show, and I want it to go further and further.
How'd you get your start in comedy, Kevin?
Like everybody else, I went to an open mic and just did not stop.
Yeah. Did you start out in New York, or did you come from somewhere else?
I live right across the river. I'm from Jersey. That's where I live right now, like literally across the river. Both my wife and I work in Manhattan, but I started out in New York. I figured, look, I can start in Jersey, not as many places, number one. Number two, you're going to get better faster because you're surrounded by an insane amount of talent. You're going to get better.
Right.
The osmosis a hell of a lot faster than you are, like I said, in Jersey.
Absolutely.
5 years in New York is like 10 years in virtually. I would say in any other city.
Yeah, there's an intimacy involved with podcasts in general, but a lot of the shows that I've listened to out of New York, well, I take that back. I've only between Keith and the Girl, and then I got from Keith and the Girl, got on to Chris Laker and Micah Fox's show This Week in Jackin', which is very instructional. Anything that you are involved in someone's conversation as a third wheel like that, you feel that you know these people, and it's a really cool thing. And it's such a new medium still. I mean, obviously that even if a couple of jackoffs like us have a show, but that podcasting is still a fairly new medium.
A lot of jackoffs like you.
Good point. Thank you for that.
Right in the ass.
Including me. I have a podcast too. Every asshole comic has a podcast. So.
Well, let's plug that for you.
Yeah.
What's the name of your podcast?
What was that?
Well, let's plug that for you. What's the name of your podcast?
It's the Sportsbook Box Office Podcast. Me and my buddy Jeff Paul, another New York City comic. We talk about sports and films, hence Sportsbook and Box Office.
That makes sense.
And you can find that on iTunes, Google Play, all that good shit.
Yeah.
YouTube, wherever the hell else. Listen, that's what we're on mainly. But yeah, Sportsbook Box Office Podcast. That's what we're on. That's our podcast.
Right on.
Very good. Outstanding.
We'll put the word out.
Exactly. Gary's looking at me like I'm weird.
Well, I really appreciate you calling us, Kevin, and being right on time and everything. That's so unlike a comic.
I know, right? Well, you know what? That's the corporate American in me. Like, all right, let's be on time and all that shit. But yeah.
Talent for comedy and reliability. You'll go far.
I have to clear one thing up, though. I read on the Twitters.
Wow, all right. I expect a nice award in the mail.
No, I have to clear this up. I saw on the Twitters when you appeared on someone else's podcast that there was talk of you sharing porn on VHS. Is that a mistake, or was that a true story?
I did. The podcast. Yeah. We're just telling stories on how, like, these guys I did the podcast of. They're younger dudes. I was like, oh yeah, younger. And when I was younger, all my friends and I, we would just swap VHS tapes. We would.
Perfectly normal.
Get porn.
Perfectly healthy.
Right. And I also make sure I left it to the exact moment I fucking finished too, so that way.
Oh. Well, what's the point of watching after that? I mean, really.
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe you're a big fan of exposition. I mean, that's all fine and well. Not me. I'm a very, the chase kind of fella.
Yeah, I think most of us are. You're actually you're doing them a service. They don't have to go far. You back up 30, 45 seconds. You're right there.
Jesus Christ. Anyway.
It's a learning experience for Dory.
I want to see the guy, ringing the doorbell with his dog, and then helping out that horny housewife who has a plumbing issue.
Exactly. You gotta see this thing through.
All right, my dear. This has been lovely. Now, you can have all the time you want. If you want to plug anything else, if you want to, whatever you need to do, it's up to you. But if you have things to do. We're huge in
Canada, actually. We
actually are huge in Canada. It's
we
very weird.
with a Canadian podcast. So if there's anything that you got any upcoming dates in Winnipeg, you want to get that out.
I would love to tell you what. I would love to do Winnipeg. I'm trying to actually do a live. I've done a live, trying to get a live version of Comic Clutchy Comics out there. So if you got any people connections over at the, I don't know the name of the clubs over in Winnipeg, but I'll come up to Winnipeg. We'll do a live version of Comic Clutchy Comics only in the summer. I refuse to go to Canada in the winter time.
Good thinking. You love your life. Yeah.
And you need to come to Oregon because that's where we live. You need to come hang out.
Helium in Portland.
Where'd you say, Oregon?
Oregon, yes.
Yeah, helium in Portland is a big deal.
Yeah, Oregon. I'm not going to come to Oregon unless it's the summertime, too. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah,
Good.
and pot is legal here,
Good
just
thinking.
FYI. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
your thing, but it's legal here, so we got that going for us.
It's a thing.
All right.
Sweet. That's what.
Do me a favor. Check out the show yet again. Comics Watching Comics.
Will do.
Amazon Prime, seasons 1 through 4, season 5, any day. Then we've got at Comics Watching on Twitter, Comics Watching Comics on Facebook and Instagram, and me, I'm Kevin Gootee. That's GOOTEE.com, as well as on Instagram and Twitter, same address for all of them. And like I said, Sportsbook Box Office Podcast also on iTunes, on Google Play, on Libsyn. Give a look, tell your friends about Comics Watching Comics, and comicswatchingcomics.com. You can buy the T-shirt there, and see some cool behind-the-scenes photos. And if you have anyone in your audience that is a comedian that listens, we are still accepting submissions for seasons 7 and 8. The only catch, you have to be in comedy for at least 3 years. We don't want to have someone come on and a newbie have a bad set and then have them scarred for life where they comedy.
Yeah, let them build up that callus.
I'm a little responsible, I guess. Very little, though. Check us out, comicswatchingcomics@gmail.com. Send me a YouTube tape, a clip tape. What am I fucking? I am 40.
I was going to say.
A YouTube clip of yourself doing stand-up. I got to be able to hear it. But Comics Watching Comics on Amazon. Give it a looky, Lou. And or join our mailing list at comicswatchingcomics.com, and you'll get all the Gootee newsletter that I send out every 2 weeks, I guess.
Right on.
Thanks again for having me. I really appreciate the time talking with you guys. You guys are a hoot. Sounds like you guys are fans of the show, and you're a fun bunch, that's for sure.
Hell yeah.
With all these subscribers you're going to get from listening to the show, hell, now you can afford to buy 2 microphones.
There we go.
Yeah, right there it is.
Moving right up.
I know, right?
All right, thanks, Kevin. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Kevin.
Have a good night.
Thanks again, guys. Thanks again. I still appreciate it. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
What a cool guy.
Yeah.
What a cool guy. Damn it. He was fun.
And we're back. Holy shit.
He was fun. He was
Check
fun.
that out.
He was nice.
He was on time.
He was funny. He was on time. He liked us, which is, of course, he might just be sucking our dick.
Well,
But you know what?
That's what it's here for.
He was cute enough. He can suck anything he wants at this point.
Hop back on the mic there so
Hold on. I'm going to... Oh,
we're going to refresh our drinks.
Can we pause it on
We're going to pause it.
Should we
here
give like a
for...
station ID? Because we haven't done that in a fucking
Oh, that's a good point. Let's drop one in here.
You are listening to The Tangent Lounge featuring Electric Gary and Dory Just Dory. You can find us on Podbean, Podcast Addict, iTunes, Facebook, Twitter, thetangentlounge.com, and thetangentlounge@gmail.com.
And we're back. And Dory's crunching.
Come on, man. I literally just put it in my mouth.
So Kevin was cool as shit. That was fun. And, because she's chewing and I can talk about whatever I want to talk about, I'll talk about what she's chewing on.
Hey!
So last Friday morning, so as I was starting to say right before Kevin called punctually, again, I don't know if he's going to make a successful comic because he's not a complete fucking flake like most comics, as near as I can tell. So it's going to be tough for him because he's got a corporate gig that keeps him like on
I think he's kind of already semi-famous, though.
Yeah.
I think he already is, to be honest.
Well,
Just
to have the juice to get his own show on Amazon.
You say Jews to have the Jews?
Well, that's what it takes to get a show.
Racist.
No, what?
God damn it.
Hey, I'd say I'm part of the tribe, but I know I'm not.
And he's married, which just doesn't work for me.
Yeah, it's weird for a comic too.
Doesn't work for me.
I don't know. Yeah, you gotta wonder. So I was starting to say before he called, I've got a much more boring story to tell than our brush with fame we just had.
All right, then.
So I get up early as fuck and I shop on Friday mornings before work because
Early
I
as
got all
fuck.
kinds of time and the grocery store is 24 hours. And went
Wait,
out.
Winco 24 hours?
Hell, it is. Yeah, it is.
Oh, fuck me. All right.
So I get up to go shopping last Friday morning, and I head out to the freezer to make my list and see if we need any more shit out of the freezer, and the freezer's open. Has been all night. And it froze over and stopped running, so shit is all soft, and of course, hundreds of dollars of Costco shit and all kinds of animals and whatnot in there. Like, So I got to run inside, yank all the shit out of our little freezer, and start hoarding meats and what have you from the big one into the little one, and then defrost it. It was major trauma. And so I've got a big ass fucking gnarly looking latch on it now with from Amazon, and it's holding up. And we're back to Amazon. So anyway, enough of the boring story.
No. Why is it open?
It was so full of expensive meat that it pushed itself open.
Well, aren't we rich? Aren't we la-di-da?
It's a first world problem, if ever there were one.
I see.
Yeah. So
So people in Ethiopia not having this issue?
probably not. Well, I don't know. You know,
Okay.
their freezers are probably have latches on them, because here we're worried about the kids playing in the old freezer in the alley, and we don't want to have latches on them anymore.
That's why it was open. He left it in the alley.
Well, now I have a latch for the kids to play in, so it all seemed to work out. Anyway, you know what? I think we could call this a show.
God, yeah.
Let's not drag it out.
Yeah, we're not going to beat a dead latch.
Okay.
Let's not.
There we go. We've got Kevin Gootee from New York taking time off from his Friday night set to
Comics watching comics.
Comics watching comics. Yeah, check it out. It's a fun show.
Is fun.
It's a group of comics that get together, and it's basically what we do with more comedy, and you can watch it.
And so much better. And
Well,
I'm going to
all
go
that. Yeah, that's
fame
fine. That's fine.
and
Yeah, okay,
like,
okay, yeah.
I don't need to go on to it.
But no. So
Okay.
if you like this, you'll like that. Check it out on Amazon. It's Amazon Prime. So if you got that, and everybody does, it's some free shit. And while you're there, watch the Patriot, because I've talked about it before. That's a fucking great show. Anyway, I'm Gary,
I'm Dory, just Dory.
and you've been loud.